Gentlemen, we haven't heard much about the fires anymore, but just to let you know, the fires are still raging on. Nothing has changed. Nothing. They got a little more of it contained, but this thing is still going like you wouldn't believe. And the winds are still high and the conditions are dry. Raging Thomas Fire has a potential to become largest on record in California. And this just came out in the LA Times, December 16th, 2017. Ever since the Thomas Fire erupted December 4th, it has steadily burnt its way up the list of California's largest wildfires since the Great Depression. That list, however, does not include what some consider to be California's largest known wildfire, the 1889 Santiago Canyon Fire, which scorched 300,000 acres in Orange, Riverside, and San Diego counties. Wow, that's huge. The official California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection list of the top 20 wildfire date back to 1932 because records before then are less reliable, the department says. The largest fire on the list is the 2003 Cedar Fire, which burned more than 273,000 acres and killed 15 people. By Saturday, the Thomas Fire had burned more than 260,500 acres in Ventura and Santa Barbara counties and was 40% contained. It rose from fourth largest to third largest fire on record in the state. The Thomas Fire is notable not just for destructiveness, but also for how it has continued to threaten communities for nearly 2 weeks. First in Ventura and St. Paula, and then OJ, and now the Santa Barbara coast. And with winds pushing the flames this weekend, it could ultimately grow larger than the epic Santiago Canyon Fire. Wow. Wow. The Thomas Fire is still going and it potentially could exceed 300,000 acres estimate, said John Keeley, a research. I'm just going to skip down. Some of these quotes I'm not really interested in. The fire is already the most destructive in terms of the fire in California's history. Besides the Thomas Fire, a series of wind-whipped blazes in wine country destroyed more than 10,000 homes and killed more than 40 people in October. That's the Napa Fire. Okay, that was the Napa Fire. And it's hard to believe, not even 2 months later, you now got the Thomas Fire. In the 1930s, the U.S. Forest Service compiled a list of all fires in California with records going back to 1861, according to Keeley. These are estimates, though, because going back that far, essentially all you have are newspaper reports, Keeley said. There's been big fires off and on ever since. Large fires are not unknown in California by any means. The one thing that perhaps is different is we're getting more of them now that we did historically. Since the Civil War, half of Southern California's largest wildfires have occurred in the last 15 years, according to a paper written by Keeley. The reason for the increase? Humans. Historically, if you look at the past when there were relatively few people on the landscape, a significant number of the fires were being started by lightning, Keeley said. And lightning doesn't occur during Santa Ana wind events. Okay, so he said whenever it's windy, you don't have those type of lightning strikes occurring. Um, there was just a much lower probability of ignition coinciding with Santa Ana winds. Today, however, most fires are triggered by people. As people increase on the landscape, we have a much greater chance that they're going to ignite fires, perhaps by arson, or more people on the landscape means more infrastructure, such as power lines, that could cause fires. We think that the increase incident of big fires is most directly tied to people, and more badly timed ignition. And I agree with that. The more people you have around, yeah, because you got people just doing silly things, and then you have people setting this shit deliberately. Now, I don't think they have determined how the Thomas fire got started, but I'm not shocked if people started this thing. For some reason, I just don't believe this is a natural phenomena like a lightning strike because they already said the conditions there have been very dry. So, there's no reason to believe it's weather related. So, who knows? But this thing going strong for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Wow. Can you imagine the air quality now around Southern California? It was bad enough before, but with this fire, wow. And you just see so many homes going up in flames. This article didn't report on how many structures. I know the last time I looked, it was 800 plus. Don't know if it's more. They didn't mention anything in this particular article. But I will leave the link to this article in the description box. Please leave your comment and subscribe, and don't forget to hit on that notification bell. Peace, family.